What's pop-a-locking, you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people? Your boy, the First Slip, is in the building. It is the transfer special as we build for a Champions League squad. We're in June. We've already made some signings. Let's get in the game. And we start off with two new signings. That's right. We're kicking off the transfer special with two guys already predetermined. First one up, Brazilian 20-year-old, costing us £17 million for the striker. Horacio has come in. Pace of 17. Yes, he's only 176 centimeters. Doesn't matter about that. 17 pace, 17 finishing. This man is going to be the new front and center when it comes to attacking. And if we just compare him to Alexandru Aguilera, you can just see he is just a massive, massive upgrade on the player. We are paying him a little bit more than I wanted at, let's go in, please. There we go. At, I think he's at 33,000, sorry. There we go. The next player we bring in is a youngster, left-footed centre-back, Dirk de Vele, coming in, a centre-back option, just to be a backup to that of Bars. Like I said, we need to start building up some backup players as well, because we don't really have depth in our squad. And I mean, there is an argument to say that maybe de Vele should be starting ahead of his technicals, but at 19 years old, I am going to try and develop his physicals a little bit more, because I think he could be a better player than our current captain, Tom Bars. But yeah, he is definitely a huge, huge draw in that sense. Other positions we are looking for is another left back. I've got Kikidakis, who is good, but I feel like we can improve on the young Greek, or the 27-year-old Greek. We also have Espinosa coming in at 27, both on the cusp of where they need to be. Both are very good. I think we can find someone better in the left back position. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. We can play Espinosa and Kikidakis in that position. We are also looking for another two more centre backs at depth, or one centre back at depth rather. We have Follett and we're getting DeVille, someone who can play along in the middle, preferably someone who's a centre back / DM as well, because I have decided we're going to be using this tactic when it comes to away games against teams that we're struggling against. Rather, we can always switch it up to this tactic and then give a little bit more oomph in that midfield where we do lack a little bit in away games, it seems, towards the end of the season at least. Yeah, so those two priorities. Then we do definitely need a backup right back. We've got Cesar, who is, I mean, there's very little players that are going to be better than him. So a backup right back will be ahead of it. So this is the team that I've sort of mapped out in chances that it's going to be our Champions League team. Silva, Aleu, Marsenberger, and Bars all stay in the squad. We've spoken about Cesar. Prince and Seismensky are definitely still going to be there. Paez and Darlin on the left and right. Up front, Horatio will come in there. Paez being at 30 does make me a little bit nervous that he is on the older side. But the fact is we're going to be using Arndt as the backup, and I think that is good enough. Inugay will be the backup on the left-hand side. 18 years old, can still develop. If we find someone that is better than Darlin, I'll bring in him to be the first team, and I'll send Inugay out on loan. I think it'll help his development a little bit better. The same for Kull. I'm considering just sending him on loan, and then we can always use Nakao, who comes back from loan, as that option. Although he hasn't developed as much as I was hoping in the Bundesliga 2, playing in that position, a centre mid. He was supposed to play in that position. Didn't improve that much. So there might be a position there where we're looking at. There's a lot of other players. I'm going to wait for the 1st of July before we talk about who's staying and who's going, transferring out. One player I do want to talk about that I was hoping would get a bit of better development, especially in the physical department, going out on loan. He hasn't improved a lot, Ian Hamilton. The pace of 5, stamina of 4, and strength of 3 has been absolutely shocking to see. I was hoping he'd get a little bit stronger. He hasn't. So we might look at cashing in on him. I know he cost us a little bit of money, 2,400. Send him back out on loan. 7,000. He could be someone that we look at cashing in on. He does have maybe 1 or 2 more years of development. So potentially going out on loan again. In terms of players that we're going to try and loan out, Akani is definitely one that I want to loan out to help him develop. Hopefully we can get him a nice, good, maybe second division team or even a championship team in England could help his development quite a bit. And then there's a few other guys here. Like I said, we'll wait for the 1st of July to really talk about that. So, you know what? I'm going to come back on the 1st of July when all the free transfers contracts expire. We move them on. We come back for that. I think that's when we can really kick off the transfer special. I just wanted to give you guys a full little breakdown of where my head is at, because we have a good enough squad, I think, to have at least a decent run in the Champions League. We do just need, like I said, a couple of backup players. If we can find players who are better in the positions that I have kind of cemented, we will obviously then replace them. Talking about Silva, though, he is definitely going to be my number one goalkeeper. 16 played, 6 clean sheets out of those 16, 17 goals conceded. We've also broke a record in our own club, being the least amount of goals we conceded this season in the Bundesliga. We conceded a measly 35 goals, which is just 2 above the Bundesliga record at 33, which is held by Borussia Dortmund back in the day when Samuel Neuer was playing there. But you can see defensively, we have been absolutely fantastic. Attacking-wise, though, we only come out in 7th place, scoring 55 goals only, which is a little bit sad to see. But with all that being said and done, we look forward to the 1st of July. We'll be back then. Probably the 2nd of July, because then we always let that extra day just go past so people can leave. We'll see you guys then. Folks, it is the 1st of July, and the transfer market is officially open. Our players have left. We've got the season preview coming in for a team that came 3rd last season. They've got us sitting at 12th in the season preview, which is absolutely atrocious, in my opinion. The fact that we finished 3rd, ahead of Bayern Munich, ahead of Bayer Leverkusen, ahead of Stuttgart, who are all rated in the top 3. We somehow find ourselves not in the top 3. In fact, not even the top 10. That is absolutely terrible. But anyway, no one in the Dream 11. We've got our new players into the squad. Horacio is there. We've got him nicely placed as our head striker. And then, of course, our De Valle, our backup on the left-hand side, who, upon looking at him and looking at all his style, or all his attributes now that we have full access to him, there's a big argument to say that he is a much better defender than Bars. I am going to start with Bars this season, though, because I feel like he is our captain and he deserves to have that sort of recognition. But the thing is, though, and this is where the big thing is, Bars is a very strong right-footed player. And there is... Why is his image changed there all of a sudden? Anyway, Mausenberger, who I feel is probably the weak link in the defense. There's an argument to say that he could maybe pitch up. We could go something like Bars play in the middle, Mausenberger be on the bench, and De Valle play like that. That's more of how I'm leaning towards. The other thing is, I'm going to give Kikidakis a run at left back. He won best player in the Bundesliga. So there's that. I mean, he didn't have a bad season by any means. 17 played, 6 assists is not a bad one. 729, that's a brilliant rating. So I'm going to give him a run. I'm going to look for a backup left back. We do have Espinosa, who can play backup left back. But I feel like we can maybe improve on that. Yeah, I think going forward, I think that might be the play. We still need another 2 more defenders. One obviously the centre back to play on the left hand side now, and the left wing back. I'm missing a spot here. A right wing back. We still need a backup for that one. We do have Mausenberger, who can play right wing back. Not great though, so I definitely need someone like that. We are in the transfer, or at least we are looking at certain transfers at the moment. Only Toth is going out. I say we are looking at, there's a few on my short list that I have sort of ticked off as potentially yes. One of them being Ben Moore. The only problem with Ben Moore is he wants 45 to 60,000 pounds a week on wages, which basically takes up my entire wage budget that I have at the moment. He is a very, very good, solid centre back, but I don't know if he's worth that amount of money. And then there is the other player that I was looking at as a potential left winger, which is Thiago Araújo here, 16-year-old. He can't move until he turns 18, so we'll keep an eye on him. And then also Jean-Peter Malfit, same situation, can only make an offer for him in October when he turns 18. The other one, Bernd Arnold, he is currently on loan to Genoa. They accepted a loan. We made a bid for him. They rejected the bid and instead took the loan offer for Genoa. I've kept him on this list as well, just in case. Under the possible guys we have here, we'll just go to the ones that are doubtful, which is all of them. There is 2 players on this list that I have had I can take off Union Berlin players. There is 2 players on this list that I have considered as potential left backs in the team. First one being Josip Vodolak, who is a very, very good left back. Only issue is he's 15 million pounds. And I don't think I'm willing to spend 15 million pounds on a backup. The same goes for Alessandro Milani, but he's gone off to on loan to RC Lens. And the same for Pereira here, who has gone off injured. He's out for the next 2 weeks, but he could be the backup that we're looking for. If we can get him for less than 2 million, I think it's decent, but he is on 23,000, so he's not exactly on a good salary when it comes to that. And then another player that I have had a little look on is Carlos Eduardo here. I like him as the attacking, the channel midfielder DM, and I do think he is probably a better suited player than Prince for that position. It matters where, the crossing I suppose not, but the first touch really does, and his leadership helped me a lot. Decision making and his bravery is what really got me going. But I just don't know if he is the right type of midfielder that we are in fact looking for. And then that is all the players that we have on our shortlist. So we are still looking for right backs. We have 27 million in the fund. We have 175,000 on wages. We can adjust that to make it, I mean, we can go up to 35 million and still have 16,000 in the wage budget. You know what, I think it's about 86 is enough there. So there you go. We can have our 32 million or 32.3 million at the moment. We still have a few more players that we need to try and offload in the squad. We have 31 players in the squad. Ashev, Ambister, and Hamilton are all coming back now in imminent. We are probably going to try to sell all of them as well. I have made the decision. Hamilton just did not develop as well as I'd hoped he developed on loan. And I think it is time to cash in on him. We're probably going to make a little bit of a loss. 2.4 thousand. He's worth 7. I don't know if we can. Akani, we are going to loan him. You can see a whole host of German clubs are interested, and Belgian clubs by the looks of it, and Dutch clubs who want to loan him. So he will go out on loan. Nordin, we're hoping that a transfer comes in, not a loan, because I kind of want to sell him. The same for Nugenfak. Hanover and Celta de Vigo are basically where we're going to get him. Olsen Slep, we've got a couple of teams in for transfers on him. I don't think we've spoken much about him. He didn't play last season. He's a good defender, but there's certain positions where I just don't think he'll ever be great, and his evaluation isn't great. His contract expires in 2 years' time, and I don't think he's ever going to get any better. And then a few other players we're looking at selling. Kaiser, we're looking at loaning out for the next season. I think Bushite was the other one we're going to loan out for the next season. If we get an offer for him, we will sell him. Michelotti, Nardine, all can go. And then that's quite a few. And in other news, we have a Union Berlin 2 team. So a lot of the guys that were in the first team moved to the Union second team. And we're selling one of their players already in Gregor Toth. They offered us sort of 60,000 for him. We're going to take it. Volitz is another one that we could look at maybe potentially selling. There's a couple of guys that I've put in this team to top develop a little bit because they are playing in the regional leagues. One of them is Bruno Gallic, if you remember from our youth intake last season, 16 years old. We can't send him on loan until he turns 17. And that's only going to happen next year, March. So he is out of the picture for loanees. Kara is one that I'm trying to get a nice, good loan for him. The right wing back or the right midfielder, as well as Bushel. I want to get him a loan. I think he can get a little bit better on that left flank for us. The rest, I kind of just stuck them in here, and if they stay, they stay. If they don't, they don't. We have a good enough under-19 squad as well, where I basically took anyone that wasn't 18 years old and moved them to the first team to loan out, and then those that I don't loan out will probably just land up going back here or to the second team. But this is just basically full of foreign players at the moment. There's a couple of good 15-year-olds, the likes of Felix Becker, who's from the last intake as well. Him and Gulick came from that intake. I think Gulick's a little bit better as the striker thing, but you know, Coulter, another young prospect that came through that. We had a very good intake, actually. I think all these guys all came from that intake. Emre Michael was one of them, I remember. Yeah. Anyway, so that's now kind of where we're at the moment. We'll come back with some more news. I'm going to keep recruiting. I'm going to try and find that center back that we need backup, the right wing back that we need backup, as well as the left wing back, if we can find a backup. And then any other players that we can maybe use. We've got a spare center mid in Nakao. Kind of want him to be in and around the first team. Espinosa is there. He's an option. If we can find another striker that we could potentially use, I'll use him. If we don't sell any of these guys, we'll probably end up using them as well. Right, guys, it's been 2 weeks since you last were with us. We've signed a Man City player for 10 million. Yeah. I'm spending 10 million on this guy over a loan period. Regan Spencer McDermott. He's a left-footed inside forward, can also play striker, midfield as well. We're going to be using him on the left-hand side. He is very, very good. He spent on loan at Watford last season, 15 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, 2 men of the matches, 703. Manchester City youth prospect. I did try and get an option to buy. That didn't want to happen. So we are paying instead £700,000 a month if we use him, £875 if we don't use him. So we need to actually use him, paying about £16,000 of his wages. We're paying basically full wages. He is good. He is very, very good. 20 years old. We compare him to Kevin Andre Dalian, who's on our left. You can see physically he's better. The mentals will improve with every game he plays. And where it matters the most, they are pretty much exactly the same when it comes to technicals, except for the long shots and marking. But we don't really need him for defensive abilities, do we? He's a good upgrade on that left-hand side. Other news, Wolverhampton Wanderers have made a non-negotiable offer of 6 million, rising to 2.7. Monthly installments of 2.7 million over 3 installments, 3 years. 700,000 after 50 wages, plus 70,000 per league wages for a maximum of 10 league appearances. I don't think that's a good offer. I mean, it's more than what he's valued at, technically. But we're only going to get that money, like, much, much later. I don't really need to sell him. I'm going to reject that offer. I don't want to sell him. I don't want to sell him. We do have other options at the moment as well. We've got a fullback on the right-hand side in Jonas Fenchner from Goethe Fürth II. He is cheap. He's 425,000 is what it's costing us. A decent backup option to Cesar on that right-hand side. Probably won't feature too much, but he's at least a free option or a cheap option for us to come in on that right-hand side. And then Otail, a centre-back option as well coming in there. I like the looks of this guy. 23-year-old Luxembourg international, 1.1 million, relatively cheap wages as well. I think he's on 33,000. I think he's a good right centre-back that can also play left wing-back if desperately needed. He's not as tall as some of our other centre-backs, but I think he can do a decent job in backing up to De Ville. I think he's decent enough. In terms of outgoing, Lars Michelotti is a loan to buy option from Swansea City. We can have a look at the contract. They're going to pay 80% of his wages, 22,000 a month, 42,000 a week. A month, sorry, for the monthly fees, plus a bonus if they don't get relegated. And then basically, they overall cost will cost them £2.25 million is what it is. A loan to buy option. They have the option to buy if they want him at 4.1 million. Another option, another one going out is Akani. He rejected both the loans offers that we had for him, so he decided to go to Union Saint-Gilloise in Belgium, where we once were. Obviously not in Belgium, we weren't there, but that's where he's head off to go play as a regular starter, which is absolutely fantastic. And then another loanee going out, hopefully, well, not loanee, selling, is Almar Sidder. Could be on the way out. Decent centre mid. We don't really play with attacking midfielders, so there was never really a space for him. So there's that. So in terms of the team, it does mean that our new signing, Spencer, will come in there, which does mean I've got all the under 18s and stuff loaded as well. Which does mean Darlin will come in to replace Inagay on that left-hand side. There is a world where I'm thinking maybe I let Inagay go out on loan to get as much game time as possible. I think we're actually going to do that. He is 18 years old. I'm hoping he can get a good loan offer somewhere. So we'll just offer him out for nothing. Let's see what people give us. Akani is out on loan, so he can move to the under-19s for now. We do have Kaiser left. He's the only one really left that we're trying to sell. And Hamilton is another one we're trying to actively sell. I'll just take them off the bench so you guys can see them. And Roll is under 19 that we just brought up for the sake of having an extra under 19 on the bench. But yeah, that's how it's currently looking. I can just do that. You can see Akani and Roll will go down to the under 19s eventually. Yes. I don't know why it takes long, but yeah. Couple of guys left to sell. Squad's looking pretty good. We can bring in our right back option and our center back option. We are pretty much done and dusted in the transfer market. If Hamilton, Kaiser, and Unigate don't leave, I'll probably give them a little bit of game time just to play, hopefully to develop. We'd like to send them out on loan, and then we can also maybe bring in 3 more just rotational players to be in the squad. But I don't think. I'm looking at the second sort of squad of backup players, and I feel like it's good enough, especially if we get those 2 players. I think it's good enough to be a good backup option for us in the Champions League. Good rotation option. I think we've signed some good players. I think Horatio, Spencer, McDermott, and De Vela have been excellent little additions that we've had in there. Those are the only 3 signings we've done so far. And if we get the other 2 as backups, I rate we're good for next season. I rate we're very good for next season. What's up, guys? Just a quick little break in the transfer market. I realized in the last little bit that I did early this morning, I did 2 episodes back to back. I realized got to plug in my microphone. So everything I was saying, everything that I said has not recorded anything. So I'm going to be doing it as a voiceover. So I hope I do it justice. All right. Let's switch to the voiceover mode and then go back to the video. Sorry about that. And so from what I can see here, we have signed a young 18-year-old Hungarian in Peter Fekete. One for the future. We'll be trying to get a loan out for the young Hungarian. Has a couple of caps for the under 20 Hungarian national team, or was it under 19? I can't remember at this point. But yeah, I was telling the people that I'm probably going to play him out on the right hand side. I feel like that's a much more better position for him, considering his attributes. And if we just compare him to our right hand side in Kendry Paez, you can see that the Hungarian is not that far off, especially when it comes to the physicals. Yes, the mentals and the technicals need a lot of work, but there is some method to the madness of trying to play him as a attacking midfielder on the right instead of attacking midfielder in the middle. So I can kind of see where I was going with on this transfer. And then we also need to talk about our starting left back, a brand new addition to the team, Akiba. Here, brought in from Lyon. Did cost us a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but he is a very, very good left back. And on paper, a better left back than our current left back in Kikidakis. You can see through the polygon over there that he is a much better player. And I mean, overall, he is just that much better than the 27-year-old Greek. The fact that he's also quite young and under 25 makes me a bit more happier for the Japanese youngster. And I feel like he is definitely going to be the starter come at the start of this season. It just makes so much sense to me on this one that he just looks like a starter. He just absolutely look at his attributes. I mean, those physicals alone, the pace of 16, acceleration of 16, absolutely fantastic. Had some Premier League experiences, pointing that out there at Bournemouth. Never really played for Lyon, though, which is a bit of a sad situation. Did play a couple of games for the second team in the National 2 League, but I think he is going to be absolutely fantastic. Right, so I've just brought you to this page just so you can see who we're scouting. Our scouting priorities. Over 1,000 people we are busy scouting. I decided to go and look at all the African, Asian, Oceanic, North American, South American, and European clubs, the under-20s teams, and I'm just basically scouting everybody from notable teams. Anyone that had players in their team, really, we scouted. So we are waiting for all those reports to come in. We've gotten a few in from Africa already, but as you can see, the starting lineup is looking all but set. We're still looking for those two backup, right back and left back, essentially. Although Akita did come in now, so we don't need that left back, but we do need that backup right back position. I'm just explaining that if need be, I can use Malzenberger on that right-hand side and then use Kaiser as a center backup option, which is also, I mean, an option to do that. But our first team is looking brilliant. I'm loving it. Right, so we have our new signing that I just confirmed. Two of them coming in. We're just putting them into the squad. The first one, Michal Saba here, just welcoming him to the squad. An absolute fantastic little signing. I did some other things off camera, but yeah, I think he's a good young prospect. Much better than our backup in Aguiletu. And I feel like last season, our biggest issue was that we weren't scoring enough goals from the center forward position. I found this guy. Hasn't played too much. I mean, he played in Hungary last season. That's the only time he's actually played football. Didn't play for Fiorentina, where I got him from. But, I mean, he's young. He's a better striker than Aguileta. And I just think it's a massive upgrade. You can look at those technicals. Absolutely fantastic. Just so much better than anything you expect to see from him. I mean, it is just great. And he comes in to replace Aguileta, who we are considering maybe letting him go, or we just keep him as a third choice option. But you can see his goal returns. I mean, it's not great. It's not great at all. Only 7 goals in the Bundesliga is not something that we really, really want. And then we're talking about 2 more sort of potential signings. The first one is Rafael Saha here, 18-year-old centre-back. We're looking at bringing him in and just send him out on loan. He's exceptionally tall, this man. He is a big, big lad. Looking to try and sign him permanently. And then we also, weirdly though, he was playing as a left attacking mid for Luton. And I don't understand why he was, because he doesn't have the attributes for that. And or DM, I can understand a little bit more. But with flair of 6, I just thought makes no sense. He is a centre-back. I mean, with that jumping reach, maybe he can improve his headering a little bit, but he is just a big, meaty lad. And then the other potential signing is a potential right-back in Brenner here, a South African youngster. Well, the youngster is 20 years old. Picking him up for relatively nothing. On paper, I mean, on paper, he is basically on par with Cesar, with excluding of the crossing ability. But I think this guy is actually one for the future, definitely. And it's not going to cost us a lot of money. So looking forward to that. Well, that is the end of the transfer special. Just to confirm, the last bit got cut off, unfortunately. We did officially sign Brenner and we signed Saha, both to contract. Saha's already gone off on loan as well. I think at the start of the next episode, you'll see that. I think I mentioned it. I can't remember. Because like I said, I recorded these back to back. I had to redo the beginning part of the second episode that's coming out tomorrow because I forgot to record things. So yeah, that's why I don't have my green screen up anymore, because I put it away because I thought everything was done. What an idiot. We'll see you guys the next time right here on the Vuvuzela Victory Challenge. Yeah, boy, the Vaslap is out of here. Peace. Chicken Gris.